descending down onto the golf ball, striking the ball first, it leaves, and the club will spend a little bit of time in the grass, even just brushing it or taking a divot, and then it will exit out of the ground. Hey golfers, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about a non-negotiable in the golf swing, something that doesn't matter who you are, we all have to do it. So if you're a golfer struggling with strike, in particular catching the ground before the ball thins, maybe tops, or not getting that nice compression into the back of the golf ball, well then this video is going to be perfect for you. What we're going to do is explain the number that we need to improve. We're going to understand attack angle and another metric which I like to think of rather than attack angle, and it's really going to help educate you, and also of course a nice drill to be able to improve it. So before we get started, I also am going to do a giveaway to my subscribers. So if you want to find out what that giveaway is, you got to stick around to the end of the video and I'll check it out. It'd be good. It'll really help one of you out, and it's something I wanted to do, a bit of a giveaway. Okay, so let's get into it. Let's learn. Let's improve that strike, get that ball turf contact, and if you could, before we start, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and let's get going. So we have on the TrackMan two metrics to look at: low point and attack angle. I'm going to explain how a lot of people know about attack angle, but low point is a really simple way to think about it, and I'm going to give you a visual demonstration in a moment. But let me show you what the number would read for a golfer that hits the ground first, maybe gets a high weak ball flight, potentially thins a little bit, the odd top shot, struggles from rough, and really doesn't get the distance that they deserve. It's basically not getting that ball turf contact. So as an example, I'll hit one that way. So 0.3 inches B. Okay, we'll explain that in a second. Let's show you a good number, if I can. This way, so 3.1 A, and you'll notice this attack angle number. So let's look. There's a big difference between those two swings. I'm very conscious of them doing something different. Obviously we're going to get a drill to fix that, but let's firstly understand what these numbers mean and what actually goes into making us strike the golf ball first, then the ground, like the best in the world do. As I say, it is a non-negotiable. We have to do it. So let's take a closer look. Okay, so we're going to take a closer look at what these numbers mean and what's happening when you strike the ground first or don't get that nice ball turf contact. Excuse the workout bench. I'm just thinking about it. I should actually probably use this thing and get into a bit of shape. But we're going to use it here as a prop. All right, this is the ground. Golf ball sits on the ground. It's a very common misconception that we need to try and get that golf ball in the air by essentially lifting it. Okay, so you see here, and I see this a lot. This is, I mean, I'd probably say like 90% of golfers I teach will have that low point, which I'll explain in a second, in the wrong place, and that attack angle not the correct number either. So looking at the ball on the ground, and it makes sense. You think, right here, I have to get it up into the sky, so I will try and lift it. Okay, and that's the opposite of what we want. You'll probably know to hit the ball in the turf. That's what all the great golfers do, and really good ball strikers as well. So as you then come into the golf ball, what we actually want is the club descending down onto the golf ball, striking the ball first, it leaves, and the club will spend a little bit of time in the grass, even just brushing it or taking a divot, and then it will exit out of the ground. Okay, so what is actually going on there? I talked about the club coming down or descending onto the golf ball. That is the attack angle number that we're talking about. You can see there on the TrackMan that reads minus 3.6. So essentially what that means is on that particular shot, as I struck the golf ball, my club was moving 3.6 degrees down as it struck the golf ball. On the bad one, you'll remember it was 0.2 B, which is the low point of the golf swing. So let's think of it this way. If we look at this stick, as the golf ball is, or the golf swing is a circle or an arc. Okay, so thinking of it this way, like every circle, there's a bottom to it, represented by this black tape. So if I hit that good shot, you'll see the low point of the swing was 3.1 inches after the golf ball. That's what the A means, okay? So let's take this black spot, which is the bottom of the golf swing, and place it around 3 inches after the golf ball. Now, if you notice, if you bring it in front, you see it better. 3 inches after, if my club was stuck to this alignment stick, you can see as I hit the golf ball, my club would be traveling down. See that? Now, what do a lot of people get wrong? This low point, and thinking of low point and attack angle, they're much the same thing, but I think sometimes it can be a lot easier to think at the bottom of the golf swing. So we look, good one, 3-4 inches after. Bad one, which is your fats, thins, top shots. When you do strike it, it's quite weak, struggle from the rough, those sorts of things. So we take this low point, and I would see that typically, mine was 0.2 or 3 on that, and I could see that maybe sitting around 3, 4, 5 inches before. So bottom here, let's say 3. There's the bottom of the swing. Now look where the stick is as a club member. It would be stuck to it. It would hit the golf ball as it's traveling back up. Great for a driver. Rory will have his low point with the driver probably 2 or 3 inches before the golf ball, and he can mess around with it and change it. But do you see that now? What happens from there? If I get the bottom of the golf swing before, I could hit the ground there. I could think, oh, I don't want to hit the ground, so the circle kind of lifts up a little bit. Now we're hitting the middle of the ball, and in real extreme cases, we could hit the top. So the club's traveling up as it strikes it. So essentially, we need to make sure that low point is always target side of the golf ball. Not really talking attack angle. I mention it because, yes, it's important, but I think that sometimes low point can be much easier. If the bottom of my swing is 3 or 4 inches after, that's a good thing. What's happening before the low point is the club is traveling down. After low point, it travels up. So not thinking attack, but thinking low point. Bad one, ground first contact, not being able to compress those irons like we talked about in my compress the golf ball video. We want to see this thing hitting the ball on the way down, low point somewhere in the middle of the divot, and back out. Okay? So, hope this makes sense. I know it's a little bit mad. If you think about the bottom of the circle needs to be in front of the ball, we're going to talk about a little drill to sort of start the downswing, to transition into the downswing, into impact, to try and move that low point target side, which is absolutely imperative for good iron strikes. Okay? Okay, so low point before the golf ball. My knees are sore from being down. I haven't been down that far for such a long time. So low point before the golf ball is the ground contact before. It's not physically possible to get ball and turf on strike and compress your irons when that's happening. So we need to get that low point in front. Why does the low point get before the golf ball? Well, 2 major reasons that I see. Number one, you'll remember from my compress your iron video that a lot of golfers will cast or throw the club out this way, and this gets the bottom of the swing before the golf ball or the club very close to the ground. Okay, so that can be number one. It's probably a big issue that I see. So if you haven't checked out it's called right arm in the downswing, compress the golf ball, you're going to want to check that out. I'm going to give you a good drill here though. It's really going to help you also to fix that. The other reason that I see very typically is we come into the golf ball and we will hang back, okay? This way, obviously that's moving us, increasing the chances of hitting before the golf ball and making it very difficult to strike out here after. Now, if you think about it in simple logic, you think the swing travels on that big circle. We've got a bottom to that. Well, that bottom's typically around about the logo here on your shirt. So our goal at impact is to try and get that point in front of the golf ball. So as I start down here, and I should say I am looking at I've got a camera I'm going to be able to show front on actually hitting shots. I think it'll be really helpful for some people to see this. So I'm going to do some dry drills here and show you, and I'll flip around and hit. But here, watch the difference in particular, and this is going to be our drill. My left shoulder, okay? Bad one. We get the low point before. Left shoulder. moves up, and if you can imagine back, so up and back, that's going to push, as I do that, it's actually going to push the club, kind of early release it as well, and also pull my body back behind the golf ball. Really common thing I see videoing people from front on, impact, body back here, and not that nice strong impact. So if I make this move with the left shoulder, now watch it as I try and get that low point out in front of the golf ball. I'll do it slow here, and then I am moving this shoulder down and forward is the feeling. Okay, so top left shoulder moves down and forward in front of the golf ball. That allows me to keep some lag in this, and then I get down here, I can release it onto striking the ground after the golf ball. Okay, so what this video is about this shoulder, plus I'm going to give you a strike drill to incorporate both of these things. So a strike drill plus a technical feel with your left shoulder. So here, bad one, left shoulder up and back, ground first. Top one, left shoulder towards the target and down this way. Now, when I'm in this position here, very unlikely I'm going to strike back there because I'm prepped now. I can just strike after the golf ball. Okay, so I'm going to try a shot, really exaggerating that, get that feeling of the left shoulder working forward and down instead of up and back. And when I did those first swings, I talked about when I was getting a low point before that I could really feel, and what I felt was I'm trying to hit up on it like a driver. I could feel myself consciously trying to early release the club, because I know that does it, and also left shoulder up and back like this, always going to put my low point before the golf ball. Then if I was going, right, I need to get down more on it or get the low point in front, I need to get this point target side of the golf ball. So we're here, I'm thinking, right, left shoulder across, strike after. Okay, so let's take a look at a shot and see. Really exaggerate this. So 5.5 after. You see that attack angle 6, but I really think you can let me know in the comments if you agree. I think low point is such a great way of thinking about this because it's more, I guess the attack angle kind of confuses some people, but you know, we can all picture a circle and where the bottom is. We got to get that bottom in front. Okay, so left shoulder down and forward, really going to help with that. Okay, so let's look at our strike drill that we can incorporate alongside this to really just strike that golf ball first, take that nice divot that we're all after. Okay, so the strike drill that we're going to do here to get this ball first contact at the low point after the golf ball is probably something you've seen before, but hopefully now you understand it a little better. I'm going to use my iPad for a bit of fun, right? And I'll probably not hit shots with this. If I do, who knows, I could hit it. I don't want to hit it, but just visually, please do not use an iPad yourself. But to kind of get the message across of the importance of this and how effective this drill is, I'm going to use this, all right? So hang with me. You might get to see an iPad smashed up here. Right, club head behind the golf ball. 1, 2, place, not your iPad, but place something like a towel or actually a mouse mat works really well. Now I know a lot of you probably don't use mouse mats now with touchscreen and stuff, but a mouse mat works well. Something around about this height here. So you don't want to use something too big because it's an obstacle. We'll not be able to get over and effectively strike the ball, or anything too thin because it won't really give you the feedback that we want for this. Okay, so we have that here. Obviously that is there to stop us hitting this point. So if you imagine I swing and I make my left shoulder move, and I better make it now because I do not want to hit that left shoulder move, I'm putting myself in a position where my low point now is in front of the golf ball here. Okay, now if I do that correctly, my club, remember before low point it's traveling down, so it would miss the iPad, come down, strike the golf ball, low point here, and then exit back up, low point after. Okay, so how do we practice this? First of all, what you're going to do before hitting any shots, and it's amazing actually because I do this quite a lot with people that I teach. As I say, this is a really common problem, having that low point before the ball. I'll set this up, not with the iPad of course, but I'll set this up and somebody will go, okay, fine, hit a shot, and they'll hit the tile. And you go, they're in amazement, they're like, how did I hit that? I had never thought I would hit that, because the low point is here and the club is so low to the ground that it will hit that tile. So definitely with an iPad, it's going to force me out here. I will hit one in a minute just for a bit of fun. But when we set this up, we've got our station, and you can see if I set up just inside the golf ball, and the feeling is going to be top, left shoulder down and across, and now strike the grass after. If you're on the grass, it's good because it gives you feedback. If you're on mats, you'll still be able to see where you strike. So here, left shoulder down and across, brush or hit the grass after. Okay, that's your practice. That's the feeling. You tie the two together, so you've got an internal feeling with the shoulder and an external drill on the ground. Okay, once you've done that a few times and you're confident that you can land the club in that spot, get the low point forward, then start hitting some shots. Okay, so we'll bring it round. We'll try one very, granted, very soft. So we've got one club head, two club heads, and because it's an iPad, I'll give myself a little bit of breathing room. Okay. So again, I must say, please do not do this with your iPad. But to show, if I was here and I thought, flip, I really do not want to, and I don't want to hit it, I would get shoulder way left, way down, to allow me to get over that, strike the ball. So we'll try an easy one. You know, you might get to see an iPad smashed up here. Yeah, it was pretty bad, but I did not want to hit it. But it gives you a good visual of, think about something. You're not going to use an iPad, but imagine that it is a phone or an iPad. Imagine it's there and you do not want to hit that. You will soon enough realize that to not hit that, I need to get over here, strike that way. Definitely don't want to be going back, because now that iPad's done. All right. So don't use an iPad. Use a towel, a mouse mat, something of this thickness, two club heads behind, and get used to landing the club in front while missing the object alongside the shoulder. Okay, guys? So listen, thank you so much for sticking this long. It's giveaway time, and what I'm going to give away is, if some of these people watching this will actually are online clients of mine, and they'll watch this, and it's an app called Skillest. I do teach online, and I'm going to give away a free online golf lesson to one of the subscribers. So the criteria to enter is you have to subscribe to the channel, you have to like the video and comment below. So you could say, I'm in, or ask me a question, or let me know what you thought of the video, or things that you're struggling with. Any comment at all, that'll enter it in. I'll give it probably a week to 2 weeks. Then I'll do a live draw. Live draw will be pretty cool, actually. I've never done one of those. And we'll find the winner, and that winner will get an online golf lesson with me. And then the plan would be, hopefully if the winner doesn't mind, that I could kind of record some of that and then publish it on a video, because some of the people, say, whoever it is, might have an issue. Someone else might have the same issue. Me giving the lesson, recording it, putting it out on YouTube for you guys to watch. You might all learn something about it to improve your golf, because that's what this channel's about. Okay, guys, so before we go, if you could, please don't forget to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, get those comments in, get those likes in, and I'll draw the winner in a couple of weeks.